Hello, everybody. Welcome to our podcast. My name is Fred Caglietta,
Yeah.
and I'm here with,
Kevin Campbell.
and very excited today, kicking off our first podcast in our profession of sales to really get out our knowledge and information to some new listeners and developmental things um, that we'd like to be able to offer individuals in the sales profession.
Absolutely.
I've been in the sales industry for about 19 years. Pretty much started when I was about 17, doing all in-home sales for the home improvement field.
Hmm.
And Kevin's been around the block himself for quite some time as well too.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Um, both of us have really worked on full phases of home improvements. To Kevin's had a little bit more full renovation experience. At the end of the day, really, what we've really done the best and our passion has really been sales. So very excited really today to kick this off for the first time, and have a lot of good things in store coming in the future. And Kevin will just touch base on our kind of our audience base,
Sure. Sure.
who we're really looking to catch out there or audience-wise, whether you be a brand new sales associate in your mid-17s or 18 or just coming out of high school like I was,
Mhm.
or maybe your everyday seasoned pro.
Sure. Sure.
Um,
Yeah, Fred, that's a great intro. And as Fred alluded to, our passion really is sales. So I started out really in a footwear retail space, transitioning to an outdoor equipment retail environment, and then ultimately leading us to cross paths in the home renovation end of the business. And what we've taken from each other over those years is just an extreme thirst to grow personally, professionally, whether it be in our closing techniques, in our time management, in our objection overcoming. There's just so many things that we felt so passionate. They said, why don't we just put our minds together and let's get it out there? Let's share those little tidbits and nuggets that might make the difference in as Fred said, maybe the everyday salesperson's endeavors, or no, maybe it's somebody just looking to dip their toes in the sales pool and say, is this really for me? And how can I grow from that? So that's really our function today. It's really our why. What are we hoping to achieve with this podcast and subsequent episodes further on, which I'm super excited about.
yeah, no, definitely. I know one thing for me, say kind of being born into this, but started going on, right along with my dad when I was 12 or 13. So for me, it's like all I've ever known. But people that are just starting off in the industry, there's not a lot of guidance, or in your as we talk
Absolutely.
in
Yep. Agreed.
some corporate environments or things of that nature. Whereas you go through maybe a week or 7 to 12 day training, and then it's kind of like, okay, good luck. And it doesn't really give you a great opportunity for survival. And again, as we chat every day and kind of try
Yes.
to better ourselves, and
Hmm.
like you said, you were in this industry, I was in that industry, and cross paths. I think another maybe funny story, Ed is we both golf, and actually years before we actually did cross
It's
paths, we
amazing. Yep.
played around in both amateur golf tournament, and just the memory of that, and then
Sure.
you know, we crossed paths at one point in life,
I still can't believe that.
not knowing,
Yeah. Yeah.
like
Where it would lead to.
who
Yeah.
we are and everything else. And then,
Hmm.
maybe I think that was, say maybe 8, 8
Yeah.
and now here we are. So obviously, there's, I think a reason and a testament to that is great minds, kind of think alike and come together. So,
Hmm.
very, very excited, as Kevin talked about too, like future episodes and things that we're really going to do through the course of time here. Um, Time management, closing
Hmm.
techniques.
Yeah. Rapport building. Delivery of payment. How are we doing that? And the one thing that I always want all our listeners to keep in mind is this podcast is really going to be applicable to numerous different professions, different industries, different experience levels. So I think that's where our viewers may have to massage our information pieces to fit their particular business model. And their sales approach, if you will, would be the better way to say that. So I'm really excited about it. You probably hear me say it about 500 times because it really gets at really what I love to do. And the other thing too is, and we'll be the first ones to admit it, we're still growing, and we want to be able to share that
Absolutely,
information
yeah.
with each other. So I mean, really, this podcast is a testament to that. How do we grow further? What do we do more in order to? We'll never perfect it. We're never going to have a 100% closing ratio. It's just unfortunate. You know, I may not like the shirt that Fred's wearing. He may not like mine, and that could be a reason why not to move forward with that particular salesperson. So
Yeah.
so let's get that right off the table. You know, but no, we're here to have fun. We're here to share that information. I think you're really going to be excited by the information that we share and what we can do to help you grow your business. You're really, you know, I'm really excited. So
Yeah, no, absolutely. You know, really all the things, whether it be sales, I think another thing is really just everyday life, like Kevin touched on. Um, you know, things that we do, especially in this field, the way you carry yourself, the way
mhm,
you act in homes every day. You have to be multi-versatile, different customer base. You know, again, whether it be retail, whether it be in-home sales, whether you're
mhm,
selling siding, windows, roofing, in-home alarm systems. You know, if you're a cable
sure.
company. You know, whatever it is, you have to be able to adapt to different lifestyles. Again, like with the shirts or
Mhm,
different things,
yep,
you know, everybody has a different personality.
mhm,
So that's one thing where we really want to be versatile. Is it's not just in-home sales,
mhm,
although you know we hope to be successful in that area of it. But just everyday life. You know, how do you set your goals not only to be successful in sales but in life because they
yep,
you know do have a direct correlation to each other.
yes.
I feel as well too. So those are the different
Mhm,
different avenues we really want to bring to the table. We're going to have you know some guest speakers that are you know in the sales profession too.
yep,
Some that are in
yep. Some really
sports.
talented
Yeah.
individuals. So, yep.
Um,
Mhm,
sports too. You know how do they manage you know different things? Which again, goal setting. I think those are big things
sure.
that you see. You know, I said we're both golfers or base. You know, look at professional baseball players. You know, nobody just kind of walks up to the plate and says, "I'm you know going to be perfect and take a
Sure.
swing every time." So
Yep.
those are you know things that we want to help develop as well too. So we're going to have a lot of Q&A segments as well too. Um, after the podcast, we'll have you know an email address, a link, so you guys can you know send in some questions. Eventually, that'll
Yeah.
be an episode a little bit down the road where we'll you know help you directly with direct questions you
Sure.
have,
Sure.
and you know
And
some other things you were talking about
absolutely.
too.
Yeah, and we want to welcome that feedback. We want that. That's how anyone in any particular capacity will grow. If you know we create a culture of yes people, we're not going to grow ourselves. We're not going to improve. And for that reason, that's why we welcome that feedback. That Q&A session is great, and that's going to help guide our podcast. I mean, that's really ultimately what we want because it's not about listeners. It's just about how do we improve people's lives, like you mentioned, personally, professionally, and there is a direct correlation. So we want to share that with them. And Fred, I think this is a great time to kind of discuss some of the upcoming show episodes. I know we'll kind of give them a little couple of nuggets here on what we will be including in some of those. So, you know, for an example, we talk about rapport building. You know, we're pulling up to a house in our particular capacity. You know, we're looking for those visual cues as we're walking, we're pulling up. Okay, we're looking at the, you know, maybe the cars that they drive, maybe a couple bumper stickers, maybe a boat that's parked in the driveway
Yeah,
that, you know, because
absolutely.
we share that same outdoor love of boating and looking at those things. And, you know, maybe can't speak to everything, but, you know, it's a nice conversation starter, that icebreaker. How do we, you know, you've got the stranger essentially
Yeah,
coming to your
yeah,
home,
yeah.
you know, you don't know much, but you want to feel like you're, you know, working with someone that you can trust and feels like they know you and takes a genuine interest in you. I think
I think
that's
yeah, I think that's key. You know, for that episode, you know, in particular, again, just again, when you're walking up to a house, a lot of people, you know, clam up or don't know how to react. And the same
yeah,
token, on the other side,
sure.
when you're the homeowner, you know, and
Mhm.
you have somebody come into your house, you kind of you see both ends of it. And that's what's great, you know, about the sales profession too, because you know, when it is your profession, you're like,
Mhm.
you know, you kind of like take a step back and it's eye opening, like,
Yep.
you know, oh wait, do I, you know, what I just did to that, you know, sales guys, that, you know, happening to me on an everyday basis. You know, so the rapport building obviously is key. Another episode that we're going to work on is time management,
Mhm.
which I think is key. I know, especially for me, and in the sales world or a lot of us have, high energy, high octane. So
Sure,
it's that how to harness that, how to kind of sit back and just really
sure,
capture all that energy,
right,
but also take the time to really, sit down and focus on, key areas of your sales business pipeline,
yeah,
how to manage those things. So that would be another topic, a big topic I feel, which I
mhm.
think is overlooked
Oh,
a little bit
sure,
in the
sure,
industry, is taking that time uh, to manage and also self-improve.
mhm,
Because again, like as earlier mentioned, golfers, baseball players,
yes,
if you're not, when you're ripe, you're rot. If you're not studying your profession on an everyday basis,
mhm,
and you think you're just going to walk into, a house every day and just kind of be successful, those are some areas I think that will be beneficial out of that particular episode,
mhm.
along with a couple other things, Kevin could add to that.
Sure, absolutely. And Fred brings up very, very valid points when we talk about um, the time management. So one of the major things that I do is I know it. I mean, it's probably the reason I'm in sales. I'm a chatty guy. I want to get to know you. I want to spend some time with you. And ultimately, if you're planning your day effectively, you're leaving enough time to get to that person's home because punctuality, let's face it, is key. If I mean that's really in the sales Bible,
Yeah.
in punctuality and early is on time and on time is late. So you want to make sure you're there, you're prepped, you're ready. Take a look, depending on the particular industry you're in. And again, I'm remiss because we come from an in-home direct-to-consumer sales approach. So when I reference those things, please understand that that's where that's coming from. And ultimately, we're looking at other homes in the area. What other types of,
Yeah.
say, especially in the exterior renovation business that we're in, what other types of siding are on the local homes, roofing. So it's a very easy transition to the customer that we can say, okay, on the greenhouse number 21 down the block there, that's that green siding I was referencing, and that's going to be most closely related to this color. So at that point, it gives a frame of reference. It builds a comfort level with the customer that you may not have thought of, but now you're using that as really as, let's call it what it is, ammunition when you're
Yeah.
there to,
Absolutely.
help dispel any questions that the customer might have.
Yeah,
So,
different things like that tie down. So that's, just a great episode. Really, I think those are a big thing. We'll focus on that area. Also, when we talk, as you talked about, like pulling up to a house,
mhm.
pre-calls, your introductory call to the
That could be
customer.
that could be a topic in of itself, just a
Yeah,
pre-call.
yeah,
Yeah.
oh, absolutely. I
Yep.
think it will be,
Yes.
because though,
Yeah.
again, that's, prep when you go in there. If you're
Hmm.
just showing up with a dry slate, and hey, Fred, and first time introduction. Well, good luck, and
Yeah.
so I think that'll be a great episode as well too.
Right.
As long as along with some of the other ones that we've already mentioned. Um, uh, Closing techniques, obviously, because who
Yeah.
doesn't,
Right.
always need help with different closing
For
techniques from
sure. Yeah.
all the different closes out there, and different episodes on that. Objections, obviously, because I'm sure everybody walks in and everybody's just like,
Hmm.
where do I sign?
Right.
So
Sure. If
those are,
it, if it could all be that easy,
yeah,
yeah, we
yeah,
love that. Yeah. Absolutely.
and just really to again, these things to get out there to our audience in every different type of field. Again, whether it's in home, even, whether it's in the corporate world, sales
Sure.
presentation, techniques, those
Hmm.
are all things that we really want to help benefit our audience and our listeners.
Yeah.
So really look for those things as we progress here.
Hmm.
And, we definitely appreciate, again, not only the Q&A feedback,
Hmm.
on our YouTube channel, and, we're going to have Facebook and Instagram set up for following. I'm sure we'll get some feedback on there of how can we be better or a little bit more versatile, not just in Q&A, but we also are going to kind of grow with our audience
Yeah.
too, as we really move through this great chapter in our lives, which is really, I think really the next step and something that we talked about for a long time. So again, being excited, like
Yeah.
I said
Oh,
earlier,
100%. Yeah.
today is a great day and first step. If you are in that sales profession,
Right.
like we're doing this, camera and everything else. That first step to taking the step to in-home sales,
Hmm.
this is our first step. So, we're really, again, we're super excited about it. So, bear, with us a little bit as we get everything set up, over the course of the next couple of
Hmm.
months.
Yeah.
But we'll have a direct contact email set up, and, we'll really be able to answer any questions, definitely in the beginning,
Hmm.
and then we'll really have an interactive platform as we continue to
Yeah.
move forward.
That sounds great.
Um, And yeah, I don't know if there any other
No,
stuff kind of
Fred,
want to chime in.
I think you summed it up very well. I think there's all the items that you've spoken about have definitely um, piqued the interest of
This is
the
one of those new growing pains that
yeah,
we're in here.
yeah. Sorry about that.
Good old
Yeah,
technology. But
good old
hey,
technology.
you got to make it fun too,
And
because
you know what?
that's what life's about.
That's real world. That's what happens in the real world. And not to put too fine a point on it, but you know, this is exactly what we're doing. It's our growing. We're growing in those strides, and you know, hoping to iron those out very quickly. But again, we're going to keep it light. We're going to keep it fun, interactive. We want to know that what we're doing is helpful to you, because ultimately that's where it's at.
That's
you know,
what matters
so,
the most. Yep.
you know, but Fred and I are gonna have a heck of a time doing it. We love it. We share it. This is just like another conversation we have on a daily basis. So,
Except we get to share it with the world now. which is even
yes,
better.
exactly.
Um,
So,
So yeah, that's, future podcasts will be coming out. We're going to try the next one probably within 2 weeks time frame.
within 2 weeks,
So we get this one set up, or obviously introductory. So hope you like everything that you've seen so far, and then we'll probably just put a post on any Facebook or Instagram what our first
hmm
episode will be about, and then the airing of that. So look for that in the coming weeks, and
Sure.
very excited again. And
Yep.
thank you. I hope you guys enjoy it. I hope you guys enjoy really what we do and what we're about,
hmm
and really look forward to capturing our audience and making it a better sales world or sales life or career for everybody out there. So thank you.
Yep. Thank you,
And
and go ahead and go sign them up.
all
Have a
right.
great day, everybody.